your guys' sources. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, guys. Okay, who would like to go first?
I need help with my question.
Okay.
So if I can go first, that'd be great.
All right. If you want to give your 30-second speech too, that'd be great. Thank you.
Good. Can I have my TRF, please?
Sure. There you go.
All right. All right, so my question is how can I convert polar coordinates to square graphical coordinates? What I know about my question is that I have to use either r equals the square root of x squared plus y, or I can use x equals r times the cosine of theta, or y equals r times sine of theta. What I know that polar graph looks like this. It's a circle, and it uses, it's like this, and there's degrees, and it uses r and theta. And then a square graph is just the basic one that looks like this, and has an x and y axis, and that's what it uses, x, y. So, problem here is how to get it from polar to this, and it is 4 for r and 30 for theta. So I'm going to graph that on this graph. And try to write my point of view.
Is there a formula for theta?
Yeah, you can either, yeah, I know you can derive it from this formula, or I believe it's theta equals tangent the negative first of x over y. I think. So step number 1, right. Problem.
So what are you trying to find right now?
I'm trying to find the equivalent point that would be on this graph.
Okay, did you know the first step to do that?
Yes. radii. So, find, I guess we can plug into some formulas. On various part of this graph. I also know because it's in quadrant 1 here, it should be in quadrant here.
Where is quadrant 1 on the square graph?
It is in this quadrant. Positive, positive. Right, so.
So what's the value of
4 is apart. So we can put, so now 4 equals 30 x squared plus y squared. We also know that x equals 4 cosine of 30. So we can find x. My calculator.
Do you need your calculator to solve it?
Yes, that's why I said I need my calculator.
Can you find percent of 30 without your calculator and by using the unit?
I could do that. That would require me to have a unit circle.
Do you want to see mine?
It's okay. I can use a calculator that we will have on the test this class. Just for calculus.
Is that the same number? Did you plug it into the calculator? Did you do it without?
No, you will get a radical if you do not plug it into the calculator. But on the test, we will have to round. Okay. So, x equals 0.617. And I can use the y formula, which is x equals 4 sine theta, which is 3. So 4 times sine of 30 is negative 3.95.
How does that defer to what you said earlier about
Yeah.
how if it's in quadrant 1 on the polar coordinate that it has to be in quadrant 1?
Said it should be, quadrants should match up.
Did you use the right formula?
Let's try to get 4 sine. No, that's what it comes out as. Maybe if we try solving for it like a different way. Plug like what I know into this formula, 4 squared equals x squared plus y squared.
Do you know what sine means in terms of like how it affects your answer?
No, not. So 16 equals 6.617 squared.
Where are you getting those numbers?
I squared x. Minus Okay, there we go. It makes sense because we got the same answer, except it's a positive.
How did you change AVID to AVID?
I used a different formula to solve for it.
Do you know how to choose which formula to use?
Yes, preferably if you solve for one using this formula, you can check, and it's better to solve using this formula because you won't have to deal with negatives. So now I can graph that. 6.17 is about like here, and it's about here.
Can you walk me through how you got your answer?
I can. So what I did here was I started off knowing the points on a polar coordinate plane, so r and theta, and then I had four formulas that I know, which one was right here, r equals square root of x squared plus y squared. Another formula was here, theta equals tangent to the negative first of x over y. Another formula was here, y equals r times sine of theta. And the last formula is here, x equals r cosine of theta. So first I plugged into this formula so I could solve for x. I plugged in x equals 4 cosine of 30, which came out to x equals 0.617. And from there I plugged into this equation. So I squared both sides first, so it would be r squared, which r is 4, equals x squared plus y squared. Came down here, squared and plugged in, and then I subtracted 0.381 from both sides, which got me root 15.619 equals the square root of y, and when I took the square root, I got 3.95, and then I graphed it here.
Could you do the reverse and convert a regular rectangular coordinate into a polar coordinate?
I could, then I would have to plug in x and y, and I could solve for r, and then once I had r, I could plug into one of these equations, and it would I'd plug in y and r, and I'd divide by the sine of theta, the sine to the negative first of theta, after I divide by r.
Do you check your understanding?
We just did. I just went through this one. So I think we're good.
Is there any way you can check your answer? Is this question from your notes or your homework?
It is from the homework. It is not a odd problem.
What homework is this? Is it last night's?
No, it was like a couple nights ago.
This one? Oh yeah, it's probably that one.
It